Okay, so everyone knows Lisa from Blackpink, right? Global star, amazing performer. But if you look beyond the stage presence and the hits, there's this whole financial picture that's actually, well, kind of staggering.
It really is. We're talking about wealth accumulation that, might even make seasoned business folks raise an eyebrow. It's not just successful idle money.
Exactly. It's a whole different level. And that's what we're digging into today in this deep dive.
Right. We've been looking at this breakdown it's from a YouTube channel, Peaked in Time, looking into Lisa Manobin's assets.
Mm.
And the goal here is really to understand how she's built this wealth, the different streams involved.
Okay, so let's dive in. Starting with, I guess, the obvious. Her music, her solo stuff like Lisa and Money, huge hits globally.
Massive. And what's really key here isn't just that they were popular, but how they translated into digital revenue.
Right.
Those two songs alone reportedly brought in over 500 million Thai baht. That's just from streaming like Spotify, YouTube.
Wow, 500 million just from two songs.
Primarily from those two, yeah. And that figure is mostly streams and potentially some related digital sales. Then you add copyright on top of that.
Which is like when the songs get used elsewhere.
Exactly. Commercials, films, whatever. It's another layer of income beyond just people listening to it. Significant passive income, potentially.
Okay, so that's the solo work. Then there was the Born Pink World Tour with Blackpink. Monumental doesn't even cover it, right?
No, it really doesn't. That tour apparently pulled in over 6.5 billion Thai baht total.
Billion with a B.
Uh-huh. Now, obviously that's the group total, but Lisa's estimated slice of that pie is still huge, thought to be around 500 million baht herself.
So just from music and touring, we're already talking, what, potentially a billion ballpark?
In terms of direct earnings attributed to her, yes, the foundation is already incredibly strong just from her main job, so to speak.
But that's where it starts to get even more fascinating because her influence goes way beyond music. She's become this, like, fashion icon, a real powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely. Being a global brand ambassador for her isn't just a nice title. It's a serious economic driver.
You see her with Celine, Bulgari, MAC Cosmetics, Adidas, these huge global names.
And these aren't just one-off campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
These are major long-term partnerships. Brands like that, they invest heavily because associating with Lisa gives them access to this massive engaged audience. It's strategic.
And the figures reported are pretty eye-watering. We're hearing estimates like, what, 100 million Thai baht per year per brand, sometimes even more.
That's the kind of ballpark figure being suggested, yes. It reflects her ability to genuinely influence consumer behavior, not just get eyeballs. So she has several of these deals running concurrently.
You could be looking at close to 1 billion baht a year just from endorsements.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
It really highlights the incredible commercial value attached to her image and influence right now.
Okay, so massive income streams. But then there's the aspect of managing that wealth. It looks like she's making some very savvy moves, particularly with luxury real estate.
Right, and this points towards, a strategy beyond just earning, thinking long term.
Like that luxury mansion purchase in Seoul. Nearly 200 million baht, wasn't it?
Correct. And the really interesting part, it was reportedly an all-cash deal.
All cash. That signals some serious liquidity. No mortgage, just bought it.
Exactly. It shows a very strong financial position. Plus, there are reports she also owns a valuable property back in Thailand, maybe around the 100 million baht mark.
So these aren't just places to live. These are significant assets.
Definitely. Prime real estate, especially in a city like Seoul, is generally seen as a solid way to preserve capital and potentially see it grow over time. It's smart asset allocation.
Okay, let's pivot to online. Because her social media presence is, well, it's enormous. Over 100 million Instagram followers. That's like the population of a large country.
It's incredible reach. And in today's world, that directly translates into earning power.
How much power are we talking?
Well, estimates for a single sponsored Instagram post for someone at her level with that engagement, it could be nearing 20 million Thai baht.
20 million for one post.
Potentially, yes. It depends on the deal, the deliverables, but that's the kind of figure discussed. You do a few of those, and it adds up very, very quickly. It's direct monetization of her influence.
And she has her own YouTube channel too, right? Little Film Official.
She does. And that's another income stream. It's not just a fan connection tool. It generates significant ad revenue. Estimates suggest, tens of millions of baht annually just from YouTube.
So she's built her own media platform, essentially.
Pretty much. Direct access to her audience, control over the content, and significant financial returns.
It seems like the story doesn't stop there, though. There are whispers, or maybe more than whispers, about her moving into actual business investments, too.
Yes, and that suggests another layer of financial thinking diversification.
Mhm.
Reports mention potential investments in things like stocks, maybe even cryptocurrency.
Interesting. Riskier, maybe, but potentially higher returns.
Potentially, yes. And there are also rumors about her possibly investing in startup businesses. If true, that shows a real entrepreneurial streak, looking to grow her wealth beyond the more traditional routes.
Spreading the risk, basically.
Exactly. Not putting all her eggs in one basket, whether that's performance, endorsements, or even real estate. A diversified portfolio is generally a sign of sophisticated wealth management.
Okay, so let's try and pull this all together. When you add up the music money, the endorsements, the property, the social media income, these potential investments, what kind of total net worth are we realistically looking at?
Based on the available information and these estimates, the range seems to fall somewhere between, say, 1.5 billion and 2 billion Thai baht.
1.5 to 2 billion.
That seems to be the consensus estimate, yeah. And honestly, given that some investments might be less public, it's entirely possible the real figure could be even higher.
Let's just quickly recap those buckets again. Music and concerts, maybe 500 million plus. Endorsements, potentially a billion a year, so accumulating fast. Real estate, at least 300 million we know about. Social media, maybe another 300 million or so contributing overall.
Right. And then the unspecified investments, which, as we said, could be quite substantial themselves.
So that phrase from the source, billionaire idol and financial master, it doesn't sound like an exaggeration.
No, based on these numbers and the apparent strategy, it feels pretty well founded.
Yeah.
It's a picture of someone who is not just incredibly talented, but also um, remarkably financially astute.
It really is quite something. You have this global superstar, Lisa, and her story isn't just about fame. It's about building this diversified financial empire really strategically.
And I think what's really insightful for anyone watching is what this says about, modern global starting. It's not just about the art anymore. It's about building a brand, leveraging influence across multiple platforms.
And managing the resulting wealth very, very smartly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a whole new kind of celebrity entrepreneurship, almost.
So maybe something for you to think about is how Lisa's journey kind of exemplifies this shift. It's this blend of artistic talent and sharp entrepreneurial spirit, her approach to diversifying income, managing assets. Maybe there are lessons there that apply far beyond just the entertainment world, especially in our digital age.